Stargate Voyager.
So, have you ever heard about Ireland's ancient, mysterious wormhole of Inishmore? This is what we're going to cover in this episode. So, Inishmore or Inishmore is the largest of the Aran Islands of Galway Bay in Ireland, and it's an area consisting of approximately 12 square miles. And it is the largest island off the Irish coast with no bridge or causeway to the mainland. Now, one of the most remarkable features of Inishmore Island is what is referred to, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, is the bPéist, which translates as the Serpent's Lair. And this relates to the legend of a reptilian sea monster from Gaelic folklore. And in just a few minutes, I'll get deeper into this strange and mysterious sea monster. However, most of the locals just refer to this site as the Wormhole. Now, this is likely the most unusual site you will encounter if you ever make it out to explore Inishmore Island, one of the Aran Islands in Ireland. And it truly is considered to be one of Ireland's top hidden gems, because what you will behold is what appears to be an almost perfectly cut giant rectangle straight into the limestone bedrock. Now, the wormhole's dimensions are approximately 82 feet long, 30 feet wide, and 70 feet deep. Now, this wormhole is essentially a pool, and it's connected to the sea by underwater channels that allow the water to flow in and out with the tide. And sometimes the waves crash over the edge of the pool, filling it up from above. The water level and the color change depending on the weather and the time of day, creating these different effects and moods. Now, this wormhole can only be accessed by walking along the cliffs nearby south of the ancient site known as Dún Angasa. Here, the seawater ebbs and flows at the bottom of these cliffs and then into the pool where the wormhole begins to fill up, overflows, and then starts to drain again and again. The process is said to be mesmerizing to watch. Now, as I just stated, this enigmatic site, the wormhole, is in close proximity to other prehistoric sites, such as this Dún Angasa, which is a semicircular stone fort that sits on the edge of a 300 plus foot cliff nearby. And this is truly a sight to behold, this other site. It is the largest and best known of several prehistoric forts on Galway's Aran Islands. And although it's unknown for certain when exactly Dún Angasa was engineered, many believe it dates back to at least the Bronze Age or the Iron Age, circa 1100 BC or earlier. So it's interesting to me that this wormhole is nearby other ancient sites like Dún Angasa. It's also interesting to me that it's known as the Wormhole or the Serpent's Lair based on the ancient legends of the area. Now, upon close observation, this wormhole appears to reveal cut-like marks, especially on its seaward side, which some believe indicates that it's not of natural origin. The mainstream narrative would have us believe that this wormhole was created naturally by pounding waves hitting the limestone bedrock, creating this perfectly cut rectangle. It's important to note that around the world, there are some other ancient giant rectangular cutouts very similar to this wormhole that can be found around the world in places like in Bulgaria. There's an archaeological site known as Purpuricon, which again features this massive cutout rectangle into the earth. And if you're watching on video, you're going to be able to see photos of this. So this wormhole has baffled people for centuries, for ages. And like I said earlier, the wormhole got its name from the ancient Irish name Pul na Paist, which directly translates to the hole of the worm. The Paist here, or the Paist, was a reptilian sea monster from Gaelic folklore that scared people into staying on land. The Paist was believed to live in lakes and rivers around Ireland, and they appear in many stories They appear in deadly battles against famous Irish saints in many legends. The name bPéist is derived from Irish Gaelic, with oil meaning great and peist meaning worm or serpent. Thus, the bPéist is often described as this great serpent or this water monster that supposedly dwells in the depths of the River Shannon or other bodies of water in Ireland. Now, if you dig into some of the legends regarding the bPéist, regarding its physical characteristics, it's typically depicted as being immense in size, with some accounts describing it as long enough to span the width of a river or large enough to swallow ships whole. It has a serpentine body and it's usually covered in scales. It's said to possess sharp claws and teeth, which it uses to capture its prey and defend itself against attackers. And its powerful jaws are capable of crushing bones and tearing apart anything that stands in its way. According to some oral traditions, it is said to have a sinister gaze that can literally hypnotize or paralyze its victims, making them easy targets for its attacks. Now, in closing, it was believed by many in ancient times that this wormhole of Inishmore was a passageway for this giant creature to transfer from land to sea. And some believe, according to legends, that the ancient locals would send sacrificial offerings through the hole to appease the Peist or the serpent. So, what do you think? Was the wormhole of Inishmore, is it simply just a natural creation of the pounding waves hitting the limestone floor, creating this perfect rectangle, or is it artificial? Was it crafted somehow by the ancients? Did the megalithic builders of the nearby Dún Angasa site or an earlier civilization construct this rectangle into the ground? And again, being that this site derives its name from a reptilian sea monster of Gaelic folklore, do you think it could have been crafted as a wormhole for such a creature to swim through to receive sacrificial offerings from the ancients or for some other purpose? I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment if you're able to. And while you're at it, leave me a 5-star rating if you can. That helps me to break through the algorithms and reach more people. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast from wherever you are listening or watching. Hey, thanks for your support and for tuning in. And until next time, keep exploring.